All right, so what we're trying to do is to clone Google Form, right? A little bit, some simpler version. It will look like this, like I just showed you guys so far. It can show the charts of responses, similar to Google Form, right? It lets you take the survey, right? I already canceled, so let's just build it. I already demoed, so let's plan. Okay, what are the model that we need, right? So we would call this our app form. Yeah, what's the first model that you need? Selfie. All right, stop selfie. All right, done. All right, survey. What is the column?
Content.
Title. That's enough. Okay, what's in the survey? What's the next model? Question model. Okay. What's the column? What are the columns in question?
Content.
Sure. Title and then survey ID. Oh yeah, content and title is the same. Let's just keep it simple. Good. What's next?
Answer.
Okay, maybe I could call them option or choices. Okay, answer is a good suggestion. And then what's in it? Also title.
Yeah.
Maybe content or title. And then what's in it? Question ID. Yeah. Huh? Oh, very good. So where's the type? Do you think the type should be in choice or question?
Question.
So we forgot. So type here will be either short answer or okay, check boxes or multiple choice. So it's a bit confusing. Multiple choice means you have many choices, but you can only choose one. Check boxes means you have many choices, but you can check many. And short answer just mean it's a text field, right? It's not a paragraph. Okay, so in this, do you need type anymore? No. Right. Now that's only enough to display the survey, right? When the user take the survey, what model you need? Okay, let's say we have a response model. So let's say in here, people enter what's their name and you store them. You can even store the IP address, right? So of course, if you have an app that users sign in, right, then you have user ID in there, right? Each user can take the survey once. Of course, you can have multiple times, but how do you store that? This response, you store what user is taking what survey, right? Of course, here you can actually store either IP address, similar to chat one, or username, or whatever. Maybe it's optional, anonymous. What else? What else is in response model? Answer? So it means a response has many answers?
Yeah.
Good. So it's called answer, right? And what's an answer? When I ask you what's your favorite color, you say red. What is that? It has a question ID. It also has a response ID for sure. Because in this response, this answer is for that response that I just took, right? In here, to know when someone took my survey, it's in response.created at. Right? Okay, but if I want to know, what's your favorite answer? What's that? No, what is your favorite color? So you have to store what question it is. You also have to store what choice the user selected, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? So we call that a choice ID. Yeah? Does that make sense? It starts to get a little confusing. Nod your head if you don't understand. No one nods your head, so everyone understands. Does that make sense? This is required. Okay, so let's say if I have, what's your favorite color? So this is a question. Let's say that this is question ID 1. And then you have choice ID 10, red, choice ID 11, blue, choice ID 12, green. And then the user, basically now you have to create an answer called answer, right, dot create. But then now you have to say response. What is the current response user is doing, right? Let's say this user is right now in response. When the user take a survey, then you have to create a response. So I say response is response create, right, for this survey. So I can just say response is survey dot responses dot create. Does that make sense? You can say user is current user if you want, but let's just remove user. That's just that create. But now, every time the user checks something, then you have to say, create an answer for this response. It also have to be for this question, right? And then it also have to be for this choice, right? Do we need the good question? Do we need the question? Do we need the question?
No, I don't.
Okay, no. Well, in general, yes. Strictly speaking, you don't need it. But if you put it there, it will make it very fast for you to find all the responses for any question. So it makes your code a lot easier to write. So that's called, if you don't have this is called normalization in your database. That's third order normalization. Database design, you don't have extra stuff. If you rename this question, you move this choice to another question, then you don't have to update. Right. But in this case, you never move a choice to a different question.
Yeah.
So storing it is like caching, right? It gives you faster access to data. Some people actually also store content. Answer content is the same as this text. I want to store this red. Because what if you change this later and then this content actually store that red text? It make it very easy for you to analyze the answers table because you also store the text value.
So you call the short answer.
Yeah, and of course for short answer you have to store. In some other cases, might as well store it, right? Very good. So, good for short answers such as what's your name, but also good for something like red because it stores the snapshot of that instance. All right, let's build this. Okay, so I'm going to my week 8 folder, right? I'm going to go to Rails new, let's call this app called form, and PostgreSQL. We all know that. That's pretty cool. What's the next step?
DB create. What?
What's that? DB create?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to run this. We go super fast and then just stop me. Okay, I'm going to run this, right? 3000. I will set up auto reload so that it will be even faster.
Hot reload.
All right, hot reload your code. Let's see. I go to what's this project? Form. Okay, Rails DB create migrate, right? But I already know the first model I need. Rails generate new. What? Rails generate resource. I don't want scaffold. It's too ugly, right? So survey. Before I do that, I'm just gonna have good practice. No, git init, git add everything, and then just say fresh Rails app, right? Okay. And then next is Rails generate resource survey, and there's a title column. Okay. Uh-oh. Did I already generate it? That's weird. Okay. Okay, I have a backup. Let's just remove that. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Form. Okay, Rails generate resource survey. Title is a string. You already know by now string is the default, so you don't need that. Done. That's quite slow, huh? So what happened just now is I had a different project, and Rails keep track of that using Spring. Oh. Spring, you just keep like another Rails instance in the background. So when you run Rails, it's very fast. That's not fun. Okay, our plan is to go fast. It's actually slowed down by this. So PS grab. I just say Spring stop. Just stop. Okay, great. I stopped that. Okay, great. Now Rails generate resource survey title. Hopefully it'll take a little time, but it's faster now. Okay, got that. Now when you run Rails DB create, DB migrate, it's faster. You see Spring already run in the background. Alright, so I have the database, okay, and I go to, now it's good to create a Rails server already, right? So let's just run Rails server. and let's set the route. So when you run Rails server, that's my fresh Rails app. I have a survey controller. Is that right? So let's go to route, and you see you have resources survey already, but I also say root should just go to surveys index. Is that okay? And this one, I'm just gonna tell it to auto reload. Alright, unknown action. So dev index, let's implement this page. Go to index.html.erb. This is gonna display you all the surveys so far. Survey.each do survey. Let's say link to the survey. So that this is survey.name. No, .title, right? And survey.title, and this, let's just link to that survey. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So I have this file, but there's no can you guys, what do you do? Okay, you can work on your project later. Let's just try to help me finish this app fast. Done. We have the home page. So how do we create a survey? Alright, let's go to new, and this is, I'm introducing some good practice here. In each action in a controller, you only do three things. One of three things. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three. One is that you build the object. Okay, so it's called build survey. So let's say I have build survey, and when you build something, basically you create an variable for that. So I say survey.new. Okay, and after you build survey, let's go to this new.html.erb, new survey, right? Form 4. Okay, we need the equal sign, right? Yeah. Who knows how to do form 4? Survey, do f, n, right? F what? F dot label title, F dot text field title. Isn't it great? Now you know everything by heart. So you do this, but to show this, then you have to go back to your survey index and then provide a link. Let's put this link at the top. New survey path. Oops. New survey path. Alright, so you see, you understand all the concept, the routes created. So let's go here. And here's the form. You want this, how to handle this form. First, let's add validation, right? Title, presence true. And you want in here, I can actually display the error. If you can say survey.errors, but if you want to copy, make this into a partial, you can f.object is the same as survey. So f.object of errors, if that is present, okay, then maybe later we will use bootstrap, maybe, right? So I'll say error, danger, something like that, and we display this. What's in here? What's f.object.errors.full messages. You can do .each, right? But I'm just gonna be lazy. Do sentence, okay? Now that's not enough in our controller. New here, basically you need create. You can do create by heart now. Now here's the beautiful thing. You just say, okay, first responsibility is build. Second responsibility is save. And third is render. Alright, do something about the object and render. So here, if you can save it, let's say I only create a title. I want to add more questions. So I'm going to go back to edit survey path. Okay, but if I have an error, I just render edit as usual because I want survey.errors to be displayed. Now we all understand that, right? How can you make this build survey load the values? Sure, you can do, right? You pass in here survey params. Let's just put it in private just for fun. Now, how do you do survey.params? Params.require survey.permit what? Title. You also want this to only run if there's a survey thing submitted to it. Otherwise, just built without any parameters. Does that make sense? So I do this now, and I have, hopefully this actually run. Okay, and I go, come on. I go here and say I create survey without it. Alright, it has to go to edit. Wait, what?
Render.
But that should be render edit, so it's wrong, right? Render what?
Then new.
Sorry about that. So when you need to render new, we do it one more time. New, title cannot be blank. Okay, great. But if you create something, okay, my first survey, what you want now is just the form again, but it allows you to add questions. So where's my form? Survey.edit.html.eib. I'm going to copy this form over here. Well, tada, we should use a partial, right? But it's a little bit more than that. So edit survey. If I save this right now, it will complain I don't have the survey app. Survey what? Instance variables. So let's do edit. So instead of build, you load survey. In update, you do load. Alright? So dev load survey. When someone read your code, you read my code, you always know exactly what I'm doing here, right? Survey.find what?
Params ID.
Okay. And then you have survey in edit. It's a form for what's going on? I have survey, I have load survey. Who can find out the error? It's just Rails 5. Actually, there's a problem with Rails 5. It's quite buggy sometimes. You actually have to reload it one more time. I'm guessing that this is gonna work. Let's see, huh? Okay, it works. And you see now you can, right, have it work like this. Now I can make sure update happen. So let's implement update as well. Update. How do you do update? You also load survey. Okay. But now you say if survey update attributes survey params, then you redirect to let's go back to edit again. Yeah, edit survey path survey. If not, you want to render edit. Make sense? It means that right now I have the survey, but if I remove all the title, if my title maybe is the same as another title, then you don't let the user do it, right? This is your validation. So let's say in this case, I press enter, then title cannot be blank. So far so good, right? So what I have implemented is how to create a survey. So let's commit that. We got the first step ready. So you say git commit add everything add survey model. Make sense? Great. What else do we implement next? This is your first survey over here. Let's make it look a little bit better by going to survey index. Let's make this UL, right? And wrap this in li. Okay? So now you can, hopefully it's a little slow, but you can click on the survey and you can edit it. Let's add the questions, shall we? Click here. Okay, we don't have show yet. Let's say when you show, you have to display, but we don't know. Okay, when we will display a survey after we have the questions, it'll be more interesting. So now you see, maybe this is not good enough. I'm going to quickly implement something else. Maybe it's a column table. Let's just name it maybe table. Use a bootstrap style. We have a tr, your head, basically survey title, and then you have action, right? Does that make sense? And for each table, t-body, and you can do like maybe tr, what's that? td, but then let's say list of survey, each do survey. In this guy, we put survey title. What other action do I have? You can say link to what? Edit, maybe show. Then you just need to show the survey. Maybe you can say link to edit, right? And edit survey path, survey. Looks okay. You can do another one for destroy if you want. Okay, so then this guy I delete. It will look like this. Okay, show and edit. Let's make this edit a bit more powerful. Let's make it similar to this view. Okay? Before we do that, let's make this pretty first. So, for example, I just did a few things here. You can just, commit very quickly. You say clean up index view, right? For example, commit often. So, I want to show you how to use this. Include some front-end libraries. So far, there are, if you know Node.js, ecosystem, people build JavaScript apps, on the backend, right? They use npm. That's similar to bundler, right? Node package management, and you say npm install Bootstrap, npm install jQuery, npm install Express, that's a server, or Sail.js, which is similar to Rails. Okay, so npm. On the front end, you need also a way to also generate the JavaScript files. With Ruby on Rails, you use sprockets. It's like it automatically compile all your files, and you have to put your files in app assets folder, JavaScript and style sheet. Okay, and then there's a special syntax that in application.js CSS you can require image files in the images folder. You have to use image path helper. Okay. Now some of you try to use some JavaScript plugin and it breaks because the path is incorrect. And this sometimes it's too complicated. You download a plugin and you don't know how to include it. So for an example, if you say Bootstrap materialize, and then there's this guy, and you look at this guy, it's like, I don't want to learn material design from scratch. All the CSS class name and all of that, I am not used to it. Maybe there's some way that's easier. So this guy say, hey, look, you can use your Bootstrap name, but I will turn that into material design. Okay, of course it's not as beautiful, but it's almost there. So, it's good, right? So you see this Node package management. If you build a Node.js app, then you use Node package management like this. Bower is something that is very similar. It's not as good, but it's basically allow you to put everything in a structure for your project, similar to the way you have it in assets folder here. If you don't use Rails, then likely you use one of these two to pull the library, the JavaScript library, and then you can call update. That's how you keep track of them, right? You don't want to call go to this folder and then copy this file. Sometimes you do that. It saves you time. It's okay. But this is the generated file, and then you copy into your project. Sometimes it does not work well because it doesn't know where the other files are. So, some of you have already figured out a way. There are many ways. Some people actually run Bower within Rails. So there's a Bower Rails plugin. Gem. So this gem allow you to run similar to bundle install. You also use Bower install. And instead of a gem file, in addition to your gem file, you have a file called Bower, some config file, bower.json file, and then you tell it what libraries you want. So then you have two package management, right? But then sometimes to generate the files and to put them in the right place when you deploy to Heroku, people use Webpack. That's a technology that's considered better than Bower, and they bundle things together. And you're like, oh my god, this is too much to learn. I'm just learning Ruby on Rails. Can I not have to learn all of these things? Yes. That's okay. Save your time and work on your project. So the easiest way is this thing. Right? Bower, a lot of people don't like Bower anymore. They say it's bad. It's not as good as NPM. There's nested dependency. This gem depends on this library depends on this library. This library depends on this library. Bower is not very good there. Right? NPM is better, but NPM is for backend, and then you have to use Webpack and copy them here. Don't worry about them. So let's say in Rails, I'm gonna do something really simple. This guy used Bower. What exactly is Bower? When you have a gem, remember we have .gem spec file, and then you push it to Ruby gems. Bower, they have the thing called bower.json file, so that when you do Bower install, it knows, right? You push it. Package.json is for you to do npm install. Right? So now it means any repository, any code base that you have cbower.json here, you can look at the name here. Bootstrap Material Design. It means he's hosted somewhere for Bower, and then you can install them. So Rails say, I will make it very easy for you to install. Just say the source is Rails asset instead of Ruby gems. So I go to my gem file. You see source here, right? I will go down here and I say, what if I want to install this? You can search here. Bootstrap Materialize Design here. And then they basically say, you just need to include it here. Okay? And I copy and paste. That's what you have. Rails asset, Bootstrap Material Design. When you say this source, bundler will go and ask this website, hey, give me that gem. Right? This website dynamically give you this gem, but this gem just wrap around this repository, Bootstrap Material Design, and it basically use bower.json file to create that gem for you. Okay? Okay? That's why you see Rails asset tether, right? Remember? And that caused a lot of problem for some people because this Rails asset file, our .org domain was very slow. They stopped maintaining it. It was just a disaster. Now it's fast again. So you can use it. Okay? Now when you see the instruction is add this to your gem file, run bundler. Okay, let's run it. Does anyone have questions about this guy? Bootstrap Material Design. Does it require Bootstrap? That's bundler, B for bundler, yeah? It does. So do you need to install Bootstrap gem up here? Gem Bootstrap? No, right? Why? Because in Bower, there's a dependency. If you look at this guy, this is Bower Rails, but let's say this guy, down there, there's a dependencies. It requires jQuery, Bootstrap, and Sass. Here's a little bit of a problem. It actually includes an extra copy of jQuery here. Just understand that limitation. Hi guys. So let me just pause the video real quick. How do I pause it?